Morning, folks. How you doing this morning? It's a beautiful day today. Let's get our fingers tapping and snapping here this morning on the show. It should be a good one here. We're just getting the stream live and ready for you folks to join in and have a little fun this morning. It's not that hard. If you folks like checking the prices, tracking the prices of Magic cards, let me do it for you here on the morning show. I got my cup of coffee. I'm chilling out on the stream here this morning with you folks. You know what I mean? It's going to be a good one. I have a feeling today, Wednesday, is going to be just fine. Rise and shine. Get up with me here this morning, wherever you're coming in from throughout the world, whether it's Boston, like Mr. Superbagger, it's Las Vegas, like Stefan. It excites me each and every time I get up to do the show with you folks to brighten my day and spread a little peace, love, positivity around the world when it comes to Magic the Gathering cards. Wherever you got me this morning, whether you got me on the dash of the car, maybe next to the coffee pot, wherever you've got Brody joining and dragging along for the ride, I want to thank you folks for tuning in. The facts, the folks, and those who like to crack packs and shuffle up stacks of Magic the Gathering cards, let me help you on your Magic the Gathering finance journey, where we discuss what's new in the world of Magic the Gathering cards. Each and every day, it's me, the bro, here on the weekdays doing the morning show with you. I want to say thank you for tuning in once again. It should be a good show. I got some interesting news articles for you folks today. So we're going to take a look, just like we took a look yesterday at some AI generated Magic cards. We're looking for Mr. Gaming Bob. Where's Gaming Bob at? Anger Collections in the house. We got Michael Superbacker. Don't be angry. Are you hangry this morning? Do you need a little breakfast, perhaps, Mr. Superbacker? Anger Collections, Cosmic Seeds. Who else we got? Richie Dubs is here. Good morning, Mr. Dubs, the man who likes to make me laugh. I love the shorts over at Richie Dubs. Ah, man. If you got a sense of humor, you might want to get over there. But if you're a doomer and a gloomer, no sense sharing the link to Richie Dubs' channel because it's probably not for you. If you've got no sense of humor, you might as well just stay indoors. Stay indoors today. It's a little cold outside. We hit minus 28 yesterday, and then like minus 33 on the way in to the office just yesterday. So it was kind of a cool one, very cool. It's running chill down my spine here this morning. Try to get the car started when it's that cold outside. You got to make sure it's plugged in. But I got a question for you folks. If you guys are getting ready to cook a little breakfast, maybe go see the chef at the local diner. Get yourself some toast, some breakfast toast. And perhaps you are a chef. Maybe you're a cook of some kind. What kind of car would you drive? Probably a Chevrolet, right? Gets you rolling and cruising. Ah, nice to see it. Laughter is the best medicine. You're not even kidding me. And what kind of a car does the snake drive? Probably an Anaconda, right? That's what you nice long, long kind of a vehicle, long kind of a bus. So before we get started, let me warm up just a little bit with you folks here this morning. Make sure the stream is working good. Make sure the audio, how's my audio here this morning? I tweaked the dials just yesterday to make it a little bit more realistic coming to you folks live in direct each and every morning. So just let me know how the audio sounds this morning. Is it coming in all right? Never fear, Brody's here. Before we get started, we're going to do a little bit of an AI Magic the Gathering card review. These things get spookier and spookier. And you know, it's funny because I hang around on the Twitter files, on the Twitter pages from time to time. And there's some really weird, kooky stuff going out there. People are using the AI to generate all sorts of images, interesting enough. I saw something just the other day, and if you remember the music video we did of the real card players standing up, playing all your matches to win, there's a fella who has been maybe criticized a little bit too hard, but the song has never been too relevant. Went to a pro tour to qualify, and instead of playing all his matches, sat down and told the opponent that it's been since 2013 or 14 or 15 that this person hasn't qualified for the pro tour. So he implored the opponents just to hand him over some free wins so that he could make top 8 and go on. And of course, the opponent said, "No way, man! I'm playing all my matches," and they beat him. So the feller took to social media to complain about the fact that people should just be handing over free wins because of who he is. And of course, a little bit of a backlash happened, and of course, the song has never been more relevant. I put the "Please Stand Up" song out on the internet, folks. I think you should play all your matches. If anybody tries to convince you that you should just give them free wins so that they can get the points to make top 8, don't do it. Stick to your principles. Play the matches. Play to win. Play to have fun, but don't be fixing matches just so people can uh, move on and make day 2 without actually giving it a go. So give it the old college try. Give it an honest go when you're playing your matches of Magic the Gathering. No sense throwing in the towel, no matter how compelling the argument will be. All right, I've got some interesting AI magic. I wouldn't demand a free win. Who was the fella asking for freebies? Uh, well, we can take a look at that here. Let's see who was it. Yeah, well, it's uh it's quite embarrassing. So maybe let's this fella here. Pro player. Pro player. Who's the pro player? Some of these pros, I mean, it makes you wonder, are they really pros or are they something else? I guess this will be the I guess I will miss the first pro tour since 2006 or something for not being qualified because I needed to X and 7 for double qualification. I lost the last round to somebody who thinks that maybe in a couple of months it might be relevant to have the match points. I hope what goes around comes around. So this fella, Mark, figures uh, players should give him the wins because he's been on the Pro Tour qualified since 2016. And it would just be like not right if he didn't just get on the Pro Tour qualifier again. So this fella's Twitter post lit up. I think he since deleted it, but nevertheless, it seems kind of fishy to put that on social media and say, "Hey." So there's been a bit of a backlash. My my response was, "Give me free wins so I can make top 8. I want free wins. So what a jabroni, right?" So I found it funny. I was like, "This is exactly why I made that music video. Folks just wanna shake hands and take home wins and go to top 8 just because, right? I could do that, right? No, I think Mark lost because he doesn't watch the morning show. Poor guy. Yes, getting lit up, right? How's it going? Cardboard Splendor in the house. Nice to see you. Good to see you, Tommy Siddons. Sitting in on the channel here this morning. It was 60 degrees 15°C here. You got the beautiful palm trees coming in. Oh, I love it. All right. So what else do we got? What else we got that's funny, right? Oh, and I did connect with Phil and Kyle Folio on my favorite artists in Magic the Gathering. You got a chance to connect with them over on the Twitter feed. All right. That's an old car called a DeLorean. Why does it have so few many miles on it? It was only driven from time to time. That's right. I actually watched Back to the Future over the weekend with Mrs. Alfonso. It was good. So, if Marty's only driving from time to time, you folks can be assured that his car is tuned with some of that lightweight oil. Like, let's get Guten Tag, Guten Morgen. Good morning, Prime 406 Dennis. Nice to see you with us this morning. Who can drive all their customers away and still make money? Taxi drivers, that's who. Now, is a golf ball different than a Chevrolet? You can drive a golf ball 200 yards. Let's take a look at some AI generating magic cards here this morning. They get weirder and weirder, and people are using the AI for new and creative things each and every time I see it. It's crazy. AI generated images, AI generated all kinds of stuff. If it's not AI generated, you should head into a restaurant and say, "Can I get some AI generated breakfast?" Like take an AI generated side of toast. All right, Hayu Pubon, the alley. This is 1 mana planeswalker. 1 mana. Oh, for 1 mana. Due to cutbacks, 1 mana is now going to buy you a 5 loyalty planeswalker. The legendary Teferi has Aspend. This card can Aspend for you. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, return it to the battlefield under your control. You may spend mana as though it were any mana color to cast that spell. Doesn't make sense. You're blinking a creature, you're not casting it. Okay. And then you can tap the Planeswalker to add 1 mana of any color. Let's fail this. Get it out of here. How's Mr. Ed, the dual brain? My good man, my ambassador of Quan, how art thou? Bitcoin is trending again this morning. Bitcoin is trending again. This is going to be interesting. So apparently this thing's got to fail. Oh, now that's an otter believable card. Very cute. Bitcoin's trending, meaning there's going to be a bull market in altcoins and cryptocurrency because that's the way it works. A rising tide hails all boats. A rising tide lifts all boats. So we're going to see a lot of publicity on the crypto space in the next couple of weeks with Bitcoin making an all-time high. And it's funny because when Bitcoin goes up, people have spare money if people are selling their cryptos when things go up. So that might be a good indication that people are starting to get a little bit of disposable income, perhaps. But nevertheless, let's check out this AI generated magic card, Marzu's Allergist. Otter Beast, 0/3 for 2 green. We get a snow creature. It's kind of cute. I like the snow creatures. Cumulative upkeep 0. Well, that's pretty cheap. Let's pay it each and every turn. And if you don't know how cumulative upkeep works, it means each and every turn that goes around, you got to put a counter on it, and then you got to pay the cumulative upkeep cost for the number of counters on it. But this one's 0. So 0 times any number is always going to be 0. So that's not a big deal for this 0/3 Otter Beast. Tap it to another target human. Oh, it's so close. It's so close, but yet so far. This does not meet the criteria of a magic card. Cumulative upkeep 0 really could be a mechanic they use. Then say the card does something equals a number of age counters on it. I like where your head is at, Tommy, thinking outside the box. It could be possible. Cumulative upkeep 0, and then whenever something happens, you put a counter on it. So if you activate this tap ability a couple of times, every time you activate the tap ability, put an age counter on it. Maybe the more you use it, then you have to pay. But if you don't use it, then it will just stay. Perhaps that's a good way to do it. And another interesting interaction that Murray Cooper brought up yesterday when we were discussing the Vein Ripper, when we were having rippers here on the show, when we were discussing Sor N, the Bloodlord, was the ward cost on the Vein Ripper. So Murray brought it to my attention because the ward cost on the Vein Ripper is sacrifice a creature. It could end up, and this is something they didn't cover in the article, it could end up being an infinite sack outlet for an opponent. So watch out for that. If playing the Vein Ripper and your opponent needs a sack outlet, you could have just given them at 1. So watch out for that. It's a waste of words. It's a waste of words here this morning. Let's not waste words with this Otter Beast. We've got ZooTip. The tip of the dragon to you, folks. Nice to see you. If you're driving to if you're driving to work here today, keep your hands safely on the wheel. If you're taking your pets to the vet, make sure you drive a Corvette. That'll get you there just a little faster. If you're taking your dog to see the vet, get a checkup, drive him in the Corvette. You'll probably appreciate it. I was getting in the truck the other day. I couldn't work out how to fasten my seatbelt. It's a newer vehicle, so I wasn't sure how to put it together. I couldn't work out how to fasten the seatbelt in my new truck, but then it finally clicked. This ZooTip Dragon is an artifact creature with weird. It's a weird creature. 0/0 for 3 mana for 1 red and 2. These are so bad here this morning. Oh, duct tape to the bottom of the umbrella handle this morning. Perfect. I like it. Perhaps you'll have me someplace interesting tomorrow. I love to know where you've got Brody dragging along for the ride. When ZooTip Dragons dealt damage, put a death touch vote. What? And then he's got like a screen there, an electronic voting screen. This guy here, the ZooTip weird. Death touch. This is the AI's version of death touch. See, he's touching. It's a touch screen. Death touch screen. All right, Bob's in the house. I got to ask you, Bob. I adjusted some audio levels yesterday. Thank you for your comment and the feedback. I appreciate it, and that's why I love having you here. This is a non-functional. It's too non-funk. It's not funky enough for us. Perhaps the mass golem is. So let me know how the audio levels are coming in this morning, especially when we change scenes, because I think I turned it up and it should fix the problem. Going forward, we should have the highest quality of streams for you folks. I wanted to make it perfect, absolutely as good as it can be. So you folks deserve absolute perfection. This scene is fine. All right, the computer is the creature, not the dragon. I see. I see. The computer's the creature, not the dragon. The computer is death touch. It's a death touch screen. Mass Golem is a Boros card. It's a 3/3 for white, a red, and 2. It's got Vigilance, Menace, and it's a wizard. Menace. Menace, right? This Menace, pretty good mechanic. What do you call a Ford Fiesta that runs out of gas? Probably a Ford Siesta. And speaking of Menace, what kind of car? What do you call a Mexican who lost his car? Carlos. All right. Whenever Mass Golem or another creature you control enters the battlefield or attacks, if you attack this turn, put 2+1/+1 counters on each creature you control that didn't attack this turn. Whenever Mass Golem or another creature you control enters the battlefield or attacks, if you attack this turn, so you got to play it in your second main phase, you put 2+1/+1 counters on each creature you control that didn't attack. Fine. This is a defensive card. We're starting to give props for those creatures who don't attack. Hold back. You'll get a bonus, right? Don't do any work. All right. It seems fine. It functions like a magic card. It's just kind of going the wrong way for Boros. I mean, I would think Boros would want to attack, but perhaps not. In this day and age, maybe attacking is overrated. It's wordy, but it's good, especially for Boros. Word soup, but good. Oh, a little bit of soup here this morning. Ah, I love it. I could use some breakfast here this morning. And that brings us back to this here field toil. This is where we left off yesterday. The instant speed counterspell in black, because you don't often see that, right? Counter target spell at the beginning of combat this turn. Its controller draws 7 cards. So you could just counter your own 0 mana spell and then draw 7 on combat. And if you're going to cast this across your opponent's board, you're going to want to make sure you cast it in your second main phase, because this card will be baking you crazy. Well, thanks for waffling with me here this morning on the stream. It's nice to see you folks, if you know what I mean. Let me ask you one simple question. Do you like tracking the prices of magic cards? I check these prices each and every day. It's not that hard to join me when you get up in the morning, get your engine running. We usually stream for about an hour with the folks around the world, but sometimes a little plus or minus. It's okay. We got the time. If you got the time, I got the time. Put in a little bit of fun into your collection. Help you folks down your Magic the Gathering journey. I heard back from Arjun, the main man, the chief editor in chief over at the stock desk. I did hear back from him recently. So the feedback that we were given to Arjun whilst we were gifted our Magic the Gathering MTG Stocks Premium membership. We were asked for feedback, so we provided a little bit of feedback, and it's pretty cool because this scene seems okay, but a little bit lower than the last one. All right, it's a little bit lower. I did turn it up, Bob, so I've turned it up. I turned it up. But about the feedback on MTG stocks, so that's good. That's good. We're gaining here. We're gaining. It's not. I'm not whispering for you folks here this morning. So, like I said, we were tracking the prices of Magic cards using the MTG stocks Premium Mythic Edition. We started a watch list, and then it just got a little bit confusing. So I was asked to provide a little bit of feedback over to the head honcho. It's like Brody's in the know. Brody knows some folks now. It's pretty cool. I've shared some of the feedback with Arjun over at the stock desk, and he sent me a message the other day. He said, give your watch list a good refresh because I've added a feature for you and your viewers to help you track the prices of Magic cards. So let's check it out and see what's new over at MTG Stocks. Using our premium Mythic Edition, we've started a watch list for all you viewers at home, and we're adding cards to it. Our picks, your favorite picks, cards that could possibly turn out to be pretty tasty in the financial world. And now we've got this added function thanks to Arjun over at the stock desk taking our requests very seriously here for you folks. So these are the watched cards. Now, previously, if you joined us when we were adding cards to the watch list, we just had one watch list where we added all these cards. Now you can see cards that are moving up. We can track them. We can see, it looks like the Eldrazi Temple that we wrote about over on the Patreon is making some moves up in price. It's up 22%. But now we've got this interesting added new function right here, which Arjun has added for us and anybody else who wants to use this platform to track the prices of Magic cards. So now we've got binders. So what I asked Arjun, I said, you know what would be really nice? If we could possibly sort our lists or make different lists so that all we don't just have one watch list. So these are all the cards that we've been adding, and we've added some of them with you folks because these are cards that you folks suggest we add to the list, and we want to check. So now we've got this, and I like the way he's worded it, binders. So now you can sort these binders, right? This is an added feature based on the feedback from myself and viewers, making suggestions in order to improve the functionality of the site. So it's been a great journey, and it's nice to see the feedback. So now we can create binders. So now each binder would perhaps be a different type of card. So we can put whatever we want in there. We can name the binders. We can name the binders. We can create a new binder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another binder here for you folks. Just give me a second here. Create a binder. morning show. So we can name the binder. We're going to name this Brody's MTG stock picks, and the description is morning show watch list. So now we can save this. We can also share it. Binder name includes letters, numbers, spaces, and hyphens. Binder names should include only letters, numbers, and hyphens. Brody's MTG stock pick. Let's try that. Oh, no apostrophe. Let's move the apostrophe out of there. So now we can create a new binder. And let's see where that ends up. Does it come down at the bottom? All right, binders, binders, and more binders. So let's see what we got here. Brody's MTG stock pick. So now we've got a new binder. So now what you can do here, thanks to Arjun, is we can create as many different binders as we wish. We can create another binder for perhaps we can put reserve list cards. So we can track these separately. If I want to make a binder that's got just reserve list cards, I can put it in there. If I want to make a binder that's a watch list, Brody's MTG stock pick. So I'm going to rename this binder. I might do this over the weekend. I'm going to rename this binder with your picks. And then I can also create other binders. So for example, there's a check mark for public so we can view the binder somewhere. Yes. So that was the other interesting function. We can share this bind. Now we can share this binder with other people. So say, for example, we go to Brody's MTG picks. If you look up here, it says no cards currently being watched, right? So right up here, there's well, I don't know if it'll show it, but it's in that it won't show up on the stream because it's in the URL, like the web address is up there. So now what you can do is you can hit this share button right here, and then you can share the list with people. So I can share this with the Discord. I can share it with anyone else. What else is this more function? What more? Edit binder, delete binder. So we can edit the binder. We can delete what's the edit function going to do? Oh, that just changes the name. So he's actually also added a share function. So there's the sharing button. So this is public. If you want to make it public and you want to share it with other folks, so we can put this up anywhere, somebody can go there and check it. Now, this is the other function that I was discussing with Arjun, which might be kind of neat, which is shadow trading. So for example, because these lists are public, share it in your Discord. Good idea. I should put it in the Discord. So you can make your list public or private. And the other thing that I mentioned to Arjun that would be kind of neat is to see if these are public lists and they can be shared. Is it possible that we could track the overall portfolio performance of any one individual's Magic the Gathering watch list? So then you can compare whose lists are performing better than the rest. I emailed him a year and a half ago. He emailed me back saying how it might not work and said, I don't know, maybe we can make some lists of cards just for us to track. He never got back to me. Well, he's in the Netherlands. I don't know what to say. Keep after him. Keep after him. It's a bit of a grind, right? It is such a grind, and it is. It's you run up against a bunch of dead ends and stone walls, and you try things to try and get people to participate. And it's funny because some people don't reach out, won't give you the time of day, won't even reply back. So I do like interacting with folks who are engaging. And Arjun has been pretty good. Usually takes him a couple of days to get back to me. I know he's probably a busy guy. A lot of people have jobs. So I know that this is sort of like a labor of love. So the fella that run this this site do it for the labor of love. They probably don't make a ton of money off it, but it's 100% that a lot of people don't answer. That's why I love Ed the Dual Brain so much. A real human being who's got time for folks like me, like regular folks, working man for the Merkin man. He's out there working as best as he can to bring you guys some Magic the Gathering news. So speaking of news, so let's check it out. We got some news articles from the stock desk today, and it should be a funny one. If you folks want to get yourself a premium membership, you don't have to. You can try. I would suggest give me a year with this, and then we'll make some suggestions. It looks like they're taking our suggestions seriously, so we made some improvements that we like to see. We can sort our list. We can make them public. We can share them, and we can share them around to other people in groups. So now that's cool. So this watch list is now available public. I can put a link in the Discord channel so that you folks can take a look at it, and maybe we'll work on this a little bit further down the line. It'd be interesting to see if some folks can if it goes like shadow trading is quite interesting. So if you were to be able to compare whose watch list is performing better than the rest, then you could kind of get an idea who's the better speculator in the world of Magic the Gathering. I always like to speculate on cards and see what is moving the markets of Magic the Gathering today. All right, I got a news article from Devon Dup, a fellow who never read. I don't think I've ever read an article from Devon Dup. But today's the day. We had a pretty funny article from one of the writers over the stock desk ones before about waifus and the waifu tax and the extra amount of money that you must pay to get these waifu cards into your collection. So now we've got another article that's this should be a funny one for Wednesday by Devon Dup, waifus, stickers, and a fairy. Safe Bets. Hello and welcome to another installment of Safe Bets, where we discuss cards that are all safe investments. They should go up slowly over time with limited risk of going down in price. And this month, we're going to be discussing the waifu cards, stickers, and fairy that has become a dominant force in Commander. Waifus? Well, for those of you who don't know, look it up. But a waifu is a card that depicts a female character, I believe, in an anime setting. And correct me if I'm wrong, these cards are all just that. Well, that's what we're trying to build. You should have a special list for your patrons only. That's something that people may join for. That's what we're Cardboard Center. So that's what I'm trying to build for Brody and for us. Yes, Cardboard Splendor, a bit of a programmer. So check him out. I'm gonna have to get a cat up with you this weekend. So Magic has a number of art styles in the last 30 years. Most artworks seemed to be based on high fantasy, with the goal of being dark and at times creepy. Fast forward to today, and now we get anime cards at least once a year. Often the anime prominently features anime women. Oddly enough, these are typically the ones driving most of the demand. I wonder why. A few years ago, a YouTuber by the name of Mega Captialch made a video titled Waifu Tax, describing a similar trend happening in different card games. In the video, he talked about how often cards or decks that featured cute anime girls would be more expensive solely for their art. For better or for worse, we're starting to see this happen in Magic the Gathering as well. Following this trend could lead to a good investment, especially as their arts are unlikely to see any kind of meaningful reprint as they are considered special treatment. All right. What do you folks think about that? Myself, personally, I haven't bought any of the waifu cards. I tried to get the Nard set out of the War of the Spark on pre-release, but it never worked out for me. It was sold out too quickly. So I did feel the burn of the waifu tax. I didn't get to meet Narset, but there is always time. Smothering Tide is the most prominent example of this. This card here. The cheapest version of Smothering Tide are currently around $20. The Wilds of Eldraine Enchanting Tales anime Smothering Tide is about $70. An anime-style Ristic Study is currently approaching $80. The anime alternative arts that don't feature waifus don't have similar markup. While it might be too late to capitalize on these options, some cheap pickups I do recommend are the anime printings of Spectral Sailor, Tesa Orzhov Scion, and Savra, Queen of Golgari. Are these ones here? Smothering Tide, Ristic Study, and Savra, Queen of Golgari. Spectral Sailor is playable card in both Pioneer and Commander, and as well as being remarkably cheap right now at $1, Tesa and Savra are both under $5 and some of the best options for Commander with waifu art. Now the stickers. I'd like to include one of the safe bets based on competitive 60 card formats each month. Usually, I base the format of choice on whatever format I play most with in a month, but because I want to be able to give you advice I can believe in, it's this month I spent a lot of time playing Legacy. And based on the current state of the format, and I can believe I'm saying this, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think stickers are a good investment right now, specifically the sticker sheets from Infinity. You want the ones from War of the Spark. Me too. I do. And so the stickers, okay, in the past month playing Legacy, it's been very clear to me that the Goblins is a legitimate contender for best deck in the format. It's fast enough to raise combo decks, is resilient enough to power through bean decks, and it goes bigger than Delver, and not to mention, the deck is a lot of fun to play, and it was writing this article a few months ago. I thought I'd have to recommend Muxus, the Goblin Grandee, as the card to invest in. Unfortunately, I think the window to buy that card cheap has closed and it's settled, and the stickers, however, warrant a buy. The stickers. I love Hasty Goblins. The only waifu card I have any real interest is the Sarah Angel 30th anniversary Japanese. Okay. The one card I have interest in is the Narset Parter of Veils in the Japanese alt art because I like to play Narset. She's quite a good card. I enjoy playing with it. I have a play set of it that I've played in blue and turns for many years since it came out. It's a great card, and I wouldn't mind getting another version of it. So much like the previous article about Triumph of St. Catherine, stickers present a world in which paper and online legacy are different. I don't Let's fill me in. Online, the amount of mana generated by a goblin is based on a roll, a d20 in paper. The amount of mana generated is based on stickers. In paper, this makes the deck more powerful because you can even attempt to cast Name Sticker Goblin. You know how much mana you'll need to pay. The downside, however, is that you need to pay money for the stickers. Stickers that most people probably threw away when they were opening packs from Infinity or after drafting. Currently, the most expensive sticker is around $5, while the rest huddle and hover between $1 to $2. I expect these to double in the next couple of months. If goblins remain dominant, we might be paying $20 for sticker sheets by Eternal Weekend. Really? So these are one-time use? Peel up? You need that Narset to be foil? Well, to be worth money, yes. The foil Nard, I mean, it would be nice if I could ask for it. See, Murray and Cooper and I did a War of the Spark box opening trying to hit Dovin's veto for him. We did find it because I only had one, and I thought, well, if I can hit a Dovin's veto in the Japanese box, I'll give you the one I have. So it was like a win-win situation. But I learned a lot about. I knew those stickers would be interesting. People love stickers, right? I was hoping to get an alternate art foil planeswalker in the box. And if you notice, trending on Magic the Gathering YouTube subjects, there's not a lot of War of the Spark content out there. People are actually looking for information on War of the Spark. They are. It showed up on my feed a number of times, and it's one of the high searched items in Magic the Gathering that people are looking for more openings on, more information about it, perhaps finance discussion on War of the Spark cards as a whole, perhaps sealed product. And it keeps coming up on my YouTube feed as suggested for you MTG War of the Spark top searched items. So we're talking about Talion the Kindly Lord. Here's a card that makes the final cut for this news article here today. My final safe bet for the month is Talion, Kindly Lord. Kindly take a look at this card. It's a fantastic card from 99 of a commander deck of heuristic study in the command zone. I've been very impressed with Italian and CEDH, but what makes it a safe bet is that the way it scales with your play group. The more competitive your playgroup is, the more cards Talion will let you draw. The flexibility allows Talion to find a home at any power level. Currently, Talion's under $5, and I expect as Wilds of Eldraine leaves standard in print, Talion will slowly creep up. This is not a pick that will spike overnight, but definitely a long-term investment. Let's read Talion, because I'm not too familiar with Dimir Commander. Fairy Noble, all right. Why do they want to know? My War of the Spark repacks are coming. What do they want to know? It's one of the highest searched terms according to YouTube for my feedback. It says things people are looking for. War of the Spark MTG. So I'm going to have to make some more War of the Spark content, perhaps. Maybe I'll cut that box opening up into shorts and post it. All right, the 3/4 Fairy Noble, legendary creature, costs you 4 mana. It's Dimir, it's flying, and as Italian, the kindly lord enters the battlefield, choose a number between 1 and 10. Ooh, I like cards that let you choose. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value, power, or toughness equal to the chosen number, that player loses 2 life, and you draw a card. Holy smokes, this seems pretty good and pretty powerful. I have 6 Japanese War of the Spark boxes marinating in my stash. Very good. I like your style. I too have a few boxes of the War of the Spark Japanese hiding in my stash. I'm kind of not a sealed case, though. I do have a sealed case somewhere around here. I got maybe a couple sealed cases. All right, let's check this out. Talion, a good card. I like cards that let you choose. It's kind of got that Sanctum Prelate feel where you can choose a number, and then if anybody plays, and it's interesting, anything with that casting cost of that number, the power or toughness equal to that number, they lose 2 life, you draw a card. So it's actually quite versatile. And then this is the Triumph of Saint Catherine. Triumph of Saint Catherine again. Well, we got a 5/5 lifelinker for a 1 white and 4. Says Prisdinium Protectiva. When Triumph of the St. Catherine dies, exile it in the top 6 cards of your library in a face down pile. Face down, get on the pile. If you do, shuffle, get down on the ground, face down in a pile. If you do, shuffle that pile and then put it back on top of your library. Miracle. Oh, it's got Miracle. I like the Miracle. Good morning, Twiddler. Nice to see you here, Ed. 2 Eds are better than 1. I like to have 2 Eds in my stream each and every morning. All right, I promise I'm not as obsessed with this card as I am with the Eds. And my articles may make it seem that we're obsessed with this card, but if you read on in October or November or December, you know that that the story of this card has been recommended. Selling Triumph at $20 is expected. That could be a ceiling point for the card, and has since fallen. And copies can be picked up for only $13 with the announcement of Universes Beyond, Warhammer 40K, cards printing into Magic the Gathering Online. I expect Triumph to creep up in price. So Devon Dupuis giving us. I'm gonna have to connect with Devon on X. Let's do it. All right. Devon's played Magic since the release of Lorwyn. Favorite format. His legacy also stays up to date with Pioneer, Modern, Commander, and when not writing for MTG stocks, Devon also writes fiction stories with Kindle Vella. Let's click on this. Let's find the Devon Dupuis. Quickie parking only. Exactly. You don't want to park long term. You just want a quickie. You can read this article. All right, 46 followers for Devon. Make sure we tell him Brody Alfonso sent you. Good article today. Let's chat him up. Let's chat him up here on the stream. Let's go. Devon, safe bet. Quickie parking only. Awesome. Okay, well we'll hit up Devon on the Twitter bots here this morning. All right, you amazing fans of Magic the Gathering, friends of mine, friends of the channel, those of you who like to crack open packs and open up stacks of Magic the Gathering cards. Do you like tracking the prices of Magic the Gathering cards? Is there enough information out there? Or is there just too much gall darn information? Let me do it for you. I'm doing it here on the morning show with the fine friends of the channel each and every weekday around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Yes, the best part of my day is getting up, grabbing a cup of coffee, cheering up with you guys here, getting ready to start my day, starting things out on a positive note. It's great. What's that sound? What is that sound? OMG. All right, you know what time it is. Time to move. It's time to shake in your seats with me here. Let's take a look. It's time to get moving and shaking and grooving and baking here this morning. It's time for your movers and shakers. Get a little breakfast in you this morning. All right. And you could be my waffly wedded waifu if you make me waffles and pancakes in the morning. It sounds delicious. All right, you can pancake my day by joining me here in the stream each and every day. Tell me the truth. I pancake it. Life's better with you. You're flipping fantastic. All right. You make me feel all toasty inside. All right, breakfast of champions here this morning. Let's check out the movers and shakers today. What do we got? Modern Monday, Tuesday, Pioneer, Whopper Wednesday. No. Popper Wednesday. That's right. Whoppers and poppers on sale here on the stream this morning. Let's take a look here. Over the stock list. Let's get moving. I like the groove here this morning. It's going to be good. Time to buy Infinity? Ha. Ooh. Ha. Hey. Oh. Hey, let's go. This is gonna make me excited. I'm kind of stoked because like the Twiddler, you know what I got? I got something good coming from the Twiddler's face eventually when I do ask the big guy to send some stuff. I like it. Pioneer? I see Vorinclex, Popper. Oh, that was yesterday. Vorinclex making waves over on the movers and the shakers list, but that was Pioneer from yesterday. So it's interesting to see that. What do we got for popper cards? These are cards that are common cards for the common music is louder. I know. I like the music. Let's like make the music loud. All right. Let's just adjust. How about this? The music is too loud. I know I like to move and shake here this morning. Sorry, I can't help it. All right, let's check out the movers, and I'll adjust that. I'll bring her down another 10 points for you, Bob. Bring her down 10 points on that stream because it's just too much. All right. We're going to tweak the dials here. We got to get the stream tuned up perfectly. We're on our journey of Magic the Gathering finance together, and each and every time you folks give me feedback, I take it to heart. I want to make the stream as good as it possibly can, so let me work on that for you, Bob. I'll tweak the dials and listen to the replay and make sure we get it coming in just nice. We don't want to break too many eardrums. What's a popper format? Well, it's a format that is only available for people who want to play common cards. It's common magic for the common good of the common people and the common man and the common player, like Brody Alfonso. Coming in to the stream this morning to discuss some popper cards and Ristic Study. Of course, this card is one of the most relic of progenities. It's always been fire. So what do we got on the movers and the shakers list today? We got the Ristic Study. Is this the list copy? $44. I'm trying to provide useful feedback for you, not trying to be undue. No, and that I know that. That's why I'm being sincere. I honestly believe that each and every one of you folks that joins in here are the best. Because you give me good feedback. If anybody's like, here's the thing, Splendor, I know you're starting your YouTube journey. Every single thing that I have incorporated into the YouTube channel is based on feedback from people who watch and give me feedback. And that I think has been really important. the success of folks because people tell you what they want to see, they tell you what they want to hear, and I take those suggestions. Seriously because some good, honest. It's very hard to get going in YouTube and tweak your content and make stuff that people want to see in the way they want to see it. So I do take the feedback sincerely. I no offense taken. It makes me a better streamer, better person. Makes me a better YouTuber, and it improves the quality of the stream. So I've been at this a couple of years, and every time I get feedback from people, I do try to consider it and try and take those changes into account because I know people are always trying to help other people do better. And that's the name of the game. Sometimes advice is hard to hear. Like when I bring my deck out and I show it to Dustin Cullihall, and he's like, Brody, these cards are bad. You need to play better cards. And I'm like, yeah, but I like this card. It's cool. It's neat. He's like, yes, but it's not going to win you the game. You need to cut this card. So it's just like when you're tweaking decks and you want some honest opinion on your deck. And if somebody gives you some constructive criticism, don't take it personally, but consider it and give it a try. And honestly, it does make your deck building and your playing better when you talk to people who are, knowledgeable about this stuff. And I appreciate it. It's good. Bob's a good guy. And I remember driving through Las Vegas. It was Matt, MTG Gaming, Bob, Mrs. Alfonso, and myself. And yeah, we were cruising the strip in Las Vegas, and I had a good time. We were, and we keep it under 140, bro, because the getting life in the fast lane, right? So let's look at this card here, Ristic Study, $40. This one's the list version. I wonder how much this was at time of release and the first time it would reprinted on the list. I mean, here's a card that's going to be reprinted many times, and also we did discuss the waifu tax of cards here. Look at this. It's been as high as $60 for a list card. Blows my mind. When are we going to see a numbered, serialized version of Ristic Study? Probably at some point. I'm willing to say this is a card that could easily get a serialized version. The card ride is permanently etched in my brain. I know, I can't forget it. These cards are bad. I know what that's like. I know what that's like. I know. I have some friends that are really good at Magic. They're very competitive and they're very, very, very smart in their deck building discussions. And I always ask them for advice. I'm like, what do you think of this card? And they're like, it's bad. Don't play it. I'm like, I like it. I just like, and that's where I kind of have to like decide whether I want to play for fun or do I want to play to win. And you know what? Maybe I'm a big softy, but I always end up sliding towards that. I just want to have fun. I don't care if I win, but if I can play if I can do my thing, if I can if I can play my combo, or if I can get my cards going, my synergy going, my big Timmy play, I just feel like there's enough there's more satisfaction by like achieving that Magic the Gathering deck building unlock where does the thing that you want it to do almost as much. And the only thing better than that is like achieving your unlock and winning the game on top of that. But it sure feels good to do your thing. Here we go. Speaking of waifu tax and cards that cost a premium, here's the Enchanting Tales version of Ristic Study. This is the most expensive card, balanced between fun versus good. The hyper competitive believe winning is the only fun. Okay, we'll look at this one here. Ristic Study. All right. This is the most expensive one. The Enchanting Tales Confetti Foil, $539. Here's a reprint of this exact same card. And look at the chart on it. It's never been below $500. It started off at 400 when it was released, and then it went quickly to 600. And now, like, look at this trend line. Very smooth. It's been sitting at around $500 to $600 mark for almost a year. October, November, December, January, February, 5 months this has been out. Is this going to come down in price? Only time will tell. I'm not such an expert on these confetti foils as well as these waifu cards or these alternate versions in anime, but this is quite an impressive reprint, to say the least. So speaking of cards that are maybe Mr. Dupuis is onto something. A safe bet are some of these $1 to $5 anime versions of some of these cards. It could stand to reason that long term they might just be a decent pickup. Got to hit the bathhouse. I'm getting a steam and a massage. Well, enjoy. It's cold out there. Let's check it out. Niv Mizzet is playing it. Olaro, the ageless ascetic. Morska, the undersea sleuth. And attracts every commander deck that plays blue, let's face it, is running Ristic Study. There's a tournament, a CEDH tournament coming up this weekend in locally. So I'm going to be playing a couple of different events. I'm going to be going to a locals only CEDH tournament this weekend. It should be a good group of players. I've tweaked my deck. I tried. I forgot about work. I'm out of here. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thanks for joining me there, Murray. Sorry to make you late and keep you back, but don't rush. Don't speed. Obsidian Acolyte. What's this card from Invasion? Okay, what's the price on it too, and why is it moving up $1.68? Wow, look at this. Look at the spike on this one. Wow, let's pull the chart back. This is great, incredible. Edible and incredible this morning on the joining me for the breakfast stream. Each and every one of you folks, right? Joining in for some breakfast fun here today. Making me feel toasty inside. Thanks a brunch. You look excellent today, Murray. All right, let's whisk it together. This is the amazing up trick trend. This card was like what, 25 cents? And I'm sure this would be, see, with our Mythic Premium Edition, it's got this function where, and let's just maybe bounce over that. Obsidian Acolyte. So this, let's just go back here for a second, because this, in the premium membership, we've got this function that says Card Kingdom Interest, and there's also this penny stocks. So like these are cards that have been identified below $5 and then are now trending up. And then where's the Rapid Riches? Let's see here. Is the Obsidian on it? Control F. Obsidian. It's not. I'm gonna have a little sneeze. Excuse me, a little sneeze here this morning. The Obsidian Acolyte from Invasion. Do we have foil versions of this card? Yes, $10. Let's see what the $10 foil has been doing in tabletop. Speaking of tabletop, it's got a bit of a tabletop pattern to it here. It's been moving up. What's moving this card up? Well, let's look what it does and see if we can figure out why this card is moving. All the way from 10 to 25 cents over $1.50 the last little while. It's got pro black. It's a human cleric. Target creature gains protection from black until end of turn. Foil. Jeskai Affinity, Azorus Affinity, Walls Combo, Boros Synthesizer, Mono White, Heroic, and Coggates all playing it. So there's a different. This is like the mother of black ruins, I guess. Protection from black. Obsidian Acolyte. I think there's a Crimson Acolyte too. Crimson Acolyte. Yes, another card from Invasion. So the Acolyte cycle, here's the one that gives pro red. So the two Acolytes, two cards that are spiking in price. I think there's a deck that plays it. Heroic, perhaps. Giving everything protection. Have an awesome day. I love penny stocks too. So the Crimson Acolyte is another card that seems to be moving up in price. It's $3. It's a little bit more. And then right behind that is the this other Acolyte, the Obsidian Acolyte, worth $10 in foil and $1.20 in $1.60 rather in non-foil. It got quite a aggressive chart on it. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on this one. I kept a good pile of these Acolytes. These common cards, holy smokes! I like, if you, penny stocks are good. I like the popper format simply because, like, look at a card like this, a common card from Ice Age. This guy got, I don't even know how many copies I've got, but the Acolyte's up 34%. The Findor and Elvies. This is just another Mana Dark. I thought it was neat when we got this card because I played during Ice Age and I remember when it was printed. And people were like, well, it's just another Llanowar Elves. What the heck? Who cares? But then you're like, but wait, now I can run 8 copies of these Mana Dorks. So that's actually pretty good. An Ice Age card, there's no foil version of this. It's a common card. It makes mana. If you're playing Green Ramp in Pauper, this is definitely a card for you. It looks like it's been as high as $3 in Zendikar. Pretty interesting to see for an Ice Age common. All right, what do we got? Is this a bit of a cup and handle pattern starting to form here? We got a bit of a cup, and then here's perhaps the handle. It's a great big, maybe this is the bowl of soup pattern. This is not the cup and handle. This is the wok with yawn. This is the wok and chopsticks pattern here, not just a cup and handle. I see a bit of a nice belly. This is definitely a bullish signal. When we look at our stock charts, things to know about trading charts. Yes, the old cup and handle. Definitely something that we want to keep an eye on. The cup and handle, bullish signal. We got the upside down W, the head and shoulders, the rounding bottom, the cup and handle. Here it is here. Very interesting. And I think this is a perfect example of this cup and handle pattern. Well-known continuation stock pattern that signals a bullish market trend. So it's the same as the above rounding bottom, but it features a handle at the rounding bottom. So all handles on bottom. If Cardboard Splitter is going to get a massage, watch out for the cup and the handle on the bottom. You don't want that. All right, so it looks like we got a bit of a cup and handle happening here. A bullish card. What decks are playing it in Pauper? Well, we got elves. Of course, elves. There's 3-color elves, blue, red, and green. I want to take a look at this. This seems like interesting. Teamer Elves. Teamer Elves is playing it. You got the Birchlore Rangers, the Elvish Mystic. These are all 1-drop dorks that make good mana. The Findhorn Elves this is a Pauper deck. Jaspera Sentinel. Tap an untapped creature you control out of mana. So, like, how many times did we get? Why isn't the Llanowar Elves? Oh, the 2 Llanowar, 1 Findhorn. So a mix of elves. You got 4 Birchclaw, 2 Elvish Mystic, 1 Findhorn Elves, 4 Jaspera Sentinel, 2 Llanowar Elves, a Nettle Sentinel, and a Quirion Ranger. All ramping. For your ramping pleasure here this morning, the Findhorn Elves. And then Preordain. I wish this card was legal in more formats. I mean, I can't see Preordain ever... Oh, it is legal in Modern. It's quite good. Or are we not legal? Commander, legal. This is now legal in Modern. What was the latest printing of it? I guess it is. What was the latest printing in the Doctor Who set? I guess they finally decided. This card was banned in Modern for the longest time, I believe. It was just too good. You could play Serum Visions, but you couldn't play Preordained because it's just the opposite. It's too good. Scrying 2, then drawing a card. Take it easy, Stefan. Have a good day, buddy. Enjoy. Thanks for being first to the stream here this morning. I appreciate you. Enjoy the hot weather down in Las Vegas because I'm freezing my Winnebagos off. So plenty of new printings of this, including from the Doctor Who set. What's the most expensive one? The Surge Foil. Doctor Who Surge Foil. This is the expensive one. And then what else we got? Magic 2011 foil. The Magic 11 foil is worth $23. Okay, an expensive card. Jumpstart's got an expensive version. Commander Legends. I mean, this card is good. I actually have it sitting on the maybe I'm going to cut it list in the Commander deck, but it's actually quite good. Let's take a look at this one. This one seems to be one of the most expensive ones. The Surge Foil. What makes it a Surge Foil? What part of it surges? The Surge Foil was only $8 at one point in time, but now it's moving up and now it's a little bit more expensive. Okay. And then we got Preordained Relic of Progenitus. Here's a good card. For any of you watching, even if you're building Modern, here's a good card that is some good graveyard hate. And I think I mentioned this once before. You can get yourself the Soul Guide Lantern, but most people like the Relic of Progenitive. Good morning, Mr. DJ Longhair. Nice to have you with us. dropping some squirrels in the stream here this morning. You got to be nuts to join us here for a little bit of magic card discussion. We're talking relics of Progenitus. Who's got a birthday coming up? Who's the relic of Progenitus, right? This is a good card for Grave Hate. Costs you 1 mana and tap it to exile the card out of a player's library. And then you could pay 1 and exile the relic and exile all graveyard. So good piece of great. Actually, I might have to run this. Gosh, I'm just running out of slots in the commander deck. Is it Pioneer legal? Let me see. Brody's got to build a Pioneer deck. It's not legal in Pioneer, unfortunately. But today is Wednesday, so it's Popper Whopper Wednesday. So not legal in Pioneer, but we are legal in Pauper. It was printed as a common once already, so now we got it in Pauper for life. Pauper for life. Once a common, always a common. Isn't that what the elites say? Once a common, always a common, Brody. And then Pyroblast. $5 for the relic. Pyroblast, here's another Ice Age common. So this is pretty cool. I mean, I might have to go back down the list of Ice Age commons and like revisit it because it has been just about 20 something years, almost 30 years since Ice Age was printed. And like this is the first version of Pyroblast that we ever got. It's common, worth $1.50, maybe in other sets, but this one's $5. So the Pyroblast, $5. I don't know how many of these copies of these that we throw away. It's I love it. And it's blue. So Pyroblast, a common from Ice Age. This card's pretty good. Seems as though it destroys any blue permanent and counters a blue spell on the battlefield. You know, another card that I saw people playing is this one. I'm going to put this in here. I saw this. People are playing this in some competitive CEDH decks. If you don't want to spend the $4 for the Pyroblast, here's another instant card that almost is quite good. But when you get Hydroblast or when you get Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast, and then there's like a third Pseudo Blast, it's this card, the Active Volcano. This is a card that was first printed in Legends. And I think there's a little bit of a history on this, like the island and the volcanic island. I think there's like I think the art on this card was actually going to be Volcanic Island, but then they switched it for the last minute. But check out this card. It's instant speed. It's 1 red, so the mana cost is the same. Destroy target blue permanent or return target island to owner's hand. So you can bounce an island with the active volcano. You can also smash a blue thing. So you got the red elemental blast, the pyroblast. This is also another common active volcano. So if you want, like, if your meta is heavy blue and you need another 1 mana red solution to fight the blue mage, this could be it. It's 1 mana, it's instant speed, it's only 50 cents. It was printed once in the Legends block, and now you guys need to vote. I do need to vote for Pedro. Vote for Pedro or vote for Patreon. I know mystery boost, mystery box. I think it's a mystery box break that's happening over at Dual Brain. Let us know. Because I did see the post pop up on Patreon. It says vote now for the mystery break. And I had a hectic day yesterday. Oh my goodness. Yesterday was a crazy day. So busy. I've never been so busy. I feel like a cat trying to bury crap on a marble floor. A long-tailed cat in a rocking horse factory. I feel like a I'm, I feel like a long-tailed cat in a rocking horse factory. I'm busy these days. So I was like, oh, I'm trying to get some personal stuff done. But the red elemental blast, here it is. So check out the active volcano. It might be an option. Defile. Don't defile yourself. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each swamp you control. OMG. This is pretty good. If I'm playing mono black, I'm definitely running this card. I almost want to build a mono black commander deck. I do. TCG dude, I see you got some cool people in the chat this morning. I do. I have a Mr. TCG dude here, the coolest of the cool. I've seen you on the Twitter. It's nice to have you here this morning. We're just having a little bit of fun. We're discussing Whopper Popper Wednesday, and we're defiling magic cards with this card here from Modern Horizons. Oddball box. That's what it is. So what I gotta just ask, is it like is it a mixture? So it's a box of magic cards and then it's got like a pack from like all different sets in it? I gotta study up and figure out what's an oddball box. It has a variety. It's like a variety box. Did you put the box together? I don't think Wizards makes an oddball box. This is another dual brain curated product. I'm thinking another one like that you've put together yourself. And like I did so good on the flea market repacks. I mean, it's always nice to see what kind of things Brain is putting together over there. So I'm gonna have to investigate a little further and vote over on the patron. So check out this Defile. If you're playing mono black, it's an assortment of promotional and odd items. Got it. Nice to see you, Robert. Okay, so we've got target creature gets -1/-1 for each swamp you control. This common card. I mean, how good is this? If you're playing mono black, there's no like this is almost like a fantastic removal spell. What was this card worth? It was worth 30 cents, and now it's $1. So this is like a penny stock that's been going up in price. Seems quite good. Defile. I'm gonna have to take a look through my Modern Horizons bulk and see, because it's a pretty good card at $1. It'll see a reprint eventually. Maybe it'll get an upshift to uncommon. It's possible. What's the foil version of it worth? Oh, the Massacre deck is Massacre Girl is deck is playing it, as well as Golgari Gardens. Modern Horizons 2, the retro foil, pretty nice looking card, especially in the retro foil. Giving -1/-1, so $3.24 is the most expensive version. The foil etched version is $2.40. Snuff Out. Oh man, here's a card that I really wish I had, especially in the foil version. Man, did I sleep on this card. I'll tell you right now. Mercadian Mass foils. Expensive cards. Any card in Magic the Gathering that has an alternative mana cost, like a free spell. I mean, if you want to take a little time and do some research on your own, I would check out and there's a few of them that are underappreciated, like that have alternate casting costs. Like there was Junk what is it called? Junk Automaton? Let's see this. Junk Strapper? Junk Trawler? Junk Golem. I was looking at this card in my collection the other day. No, it's not that one. What's the one? Junkyard Scrapper, Junk Diver, Junk Troller, Junk Strapper. Uh Junk Driver, Junk Winder, Junk It's from I was revisiting some of my Kaladesh cards. There's a 6/6 Kaladesh card, and its alternate mana cost is sacrifice 3 artifacts. It says, I can't remember the name of it. It's over in the box over there. Junkyard Genius, Junk Diver? Is that it? Junk Diver? No, it's not the Junk Diver. It was from Kaladesh. It's a card that most people junk in the trunk. That's what it is. It's definitely the junk in the trunk, right? But there's a card. I'll pull it out and I'll have to check for you folks. Okay, it's right over here. Give me a second. All right, it's over. It's in the S. Okay, it's not junk. Is it S? Scrap? Because I was looking for Sorin to see if I had him. Let's take a look here. Any card, like my point is, any card in Magic the Gathering that has like an alternative mana cost where it costs you 0 mana is yeah, so you got the Junk Diver, the Junk Diver. Any card in Magic the Gathering that has an alternative mana cost where it doesn't cost you any mana and you can cast it for like a different cost is actually worth looking at. Skulking Diver, Scrap, maybe it's a Scrap. Scrounging, Scrap, Scavenging Harpy. It was like a 6/6. And I thought like it might be something to take a look at or build with. Because if you can get I think it's a Scrap something. Where did it go? Okay, maybe it's not here. Scrap. Scrap. Scrap heap trawler. Scrap trawler. Scrap or steel breaker. Scrap welder? Salvage Titan. That's the one. Salvage Titan. Who is that? Hot Dice. I think you mean Salvage Titan. Yes, this card. Is this one? Yeah. Double Masters. Okay, where was this printed? Hot Dice, you're hot today. Salvage Titan. You may sacrifice 3 artifacts rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Exile 3 artifact cards from your graveyard and return to the battlefield. Okay, I was mistaken. Jeez. Brody's got the dumb here. It's early. And yeah, I was looking Salvage Titan. So here's an example of another card that I think could be okay. Anytime you've got alternate mana cost in Magic the Gathering, cards that have alternative costs always have a way to break them and to get extra value out of them. Like a 6/4, sacrifice 3 artifacts. So you're talking like food tokens, blood tokens, clue tokens, any of these cards that make excessive tokens. Like you can get this out as early as you can make the tokens and like kind of come out of nowhere. If you can play at flash speed, then all of a sudden you can just sack 3 artifacts and flash this in. It seems quite good. So there's different ways to build with these alternate cost spells. And when you look at especially Commander as a format, and this card is no exception. Snuff Out's even good in Commander, but it's also good in Pauper. So it's got an alternative mana cost that says if you control a swamp, you can pay 4 life rather than pay its cost. So I'm starting to notice a trend, like especially in competitive Commander, like the free spells, the deflecting SWAT, the Snuff Out, the Fierce Guardianship. Anything that has an alternative cost other than paying mana, like maybe Dismember is pretty close on the list. Anything with a Phyrexian mana. Tapping out is something that'll almost surely cost you the game at times in Magic the Gathering, but having free spells where you don't need mana to play them is a way to ensure that even if you tap out all your mana sources, you still have some interaction available to you, whether it's counterspell, a redirect spell, some removal spell like this one. It's quite good. So anytime and how much is the Salvage Titan? Right? It's not that much. It's like Salvage Titan. Now I'm not saying I would speculate on this card. I think I've got 1 or 2 copies of it. It's 45 cents. But it's like always interesting to see if anybody's going to find a way to break a card that has an alternative mana cost. And then all of a sudden people say, wow, yeah, of course it's good. I don't have to pay mana for it. I can like sacrifice things instead of like, and sometimes things are already going to go all the way to the graveyard anyway. So it's quite fine to sacrifice them. So Snuff Out and then Freed from the Real. The last one on the list here on our movers and shakers from Survivors of Kanagawa. This card surviving the price spike, 36 cents. Or $3.69. This is the Nikolai Tesla card. 369er. All right, Masters 25. Kamigawa version. What does it do anyway? Let's check. Feed from the Real. It's an enchant creature. Tap enchanted creature. Untap enchanted creature. So something. Wow. Uh-huh. So this is obviously something that you're going to be putting on a mana dork or something to make all kinds of mana. You can pay a blue to untap it and then tap it and do it again. So any creature that's going to like net you mana, you can use this to go infinite. Quite a good card. If you can get some creature on board that makes a blue and any other color mana at the same time, this thing's just gonna go infinite. So tapping and untapping for 1 seems pretty good. Card's been pretty stable ever since it poked up and around Ikoria, and it's never been down since. Well, that's the bottom line because the bro code says so. Thanks for joining me here this morning on the show. Bloom Tender is the normal combo. Dustin Cullahall, thank you. I'm going to see Dustin in a week's time. We're going to be maybe 2 weeks' time, March 16th. Looking forward to doing a little bit of trios. Bloom Tender. Let's put the Bloom Tender. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me bloom. This is the one that it goes with. For each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. Shazam! All right, nice to see you, folks. It's that time again. Thanks, Michael Superbacker, and all you friends and fans, amazing friends of mine, friends of the pro, friends of the show, people who love to crack open packs and shuffle up stacks of Magic the Gathering cards. It's not too hard to join me when you get up in the morning and get your day going, get your motor running with a little bit of fun and some punt here. Breakfast time. Flip you later. Get yourself some flapjacks, maybe a pancake, cup of coffee, whatever it is that you need to do to get your motor running here this morning. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and we'll talk to you again. If you like tracking the prices of Magic cards, you can let me do it with you. I'll help you on your Magic the Gathering finance journey, see if we can have a little fun together and get a little bit of fun into our collection. Let's take it over to the man himself, Ron Burgundy, for a little bit of Yaz Flute this morning, rocking the stream, if you know what I mean. It's been a good one, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow. We'll be doing some movers and shakers, some news articles, and some earthquakers and bakers. We'll talk to you again later.